Hi everybody, welcome back to the next in the series of process videos on the process book. So in the last video, we took a look at the cover page, the initial questions, what we needed to think about, where we were going to get those questions and answers. And then we started working on the written research. And that research, remember, we were looking for as much information about the project, the client, how it's being used, where it's being used, actually any information you can get on this that you can summarize and put into the document. And then, of course, following that, you should get some feedback, and then you should be reflecting on that feedback, talking about those comments that you got and what you're going to do about it. And then if you needed to add an additional page or two of more of that written research, you would do that first before moving on here to the next section, formerly called inspiration. This is now going to be referred to as visual research because it's really works in tandem with the written research. So the written research sort of guides you here, and you're going to see with the visual research, we want to keep a running line of search terms if you're searching online for those images, or maybe just a word or two or commentary on the left here explaining what we're looking at. And that comes in handy because sometimes the images aren't real meaningful by themselves, like this one here. We might not actually know what it is if we didn't know from the list here that we were looking at sewing stitches. Some of these terms you're going to notice from 2 pages back, where I was looking up things that tailors use. So that research is helping to guide me with imagery, things that will give me some visual inspiration for what I'm going to work on next, which is, creating a design from this. Now, like everything, after you're done with creating this visual research, then you're going to get some feedback. And again, this is a made-up project, but I gave myself some negative feedback in here as well, which happens, right? There were a couple of things I wasn't real thorough about. I used the research, but maybe not as much as I needed to, and I didn't maybe think about the whole project as much as I needed to. So a couple of the comments in here are telling me that I should probably be looking at images that aren't just about sewing, and that, I'm designing a logo and yet I have no images of logos in here. So those are some things that I missed. So I'm reflecting on that. I'm talking about how obviously I need to go back and do that. So then my very next page, of course, includes some new additional images in here, some actual logos that refer to sewing, and then just some general logo designs. We don't want to just strictly look at logos, since that's what I'm making, about sewing or tailoring, because it's very easy then to end up replicating that, whether you mean to or not. Sometimes those become ingrained in our head, and that's what we start working on for designs. So looking past that, I wanted to look at some logos that have good positive and negative space. I think those are very interesting. And because of the research that I had done on logo design, I know that with a very generic name like Tailor Shop, I don't want to just use an image. I'm going to need to incorporate word and image because it is so generic. So looking at more images like this can help me. Now this, again, even though it's 2 pages, it's still pretty minimal as far as visual research goes. I could have many more pages, and you can add those pages in, just duplicate them, replace the images, switch out your search terms over here, add commentary if you need to. So these 2 sections, this written research and the visual research, are really key to having a good start on the next part, which is starting to come up with a design. And that's where we will start next.